Hey, my name is Kath Clark, and as you know, I am all about aligning your work life to your life's work. So, what I want to take you through is the big picture of why that matters. And so, today, this little presentation is just for you, giving you some of the context and philosophy on my perspective and how that might serve you for you to align your work life with your life's work. So let's talk about the state of influence. So why does aligning your work life to your life's work matter? Because the thing is, one person lighting up can put a ripple of positive impact and change across the world. Everywhere we go these days, there is more pressure and pull on our time. There is more stress. There is more reasons to judge ourselves, to feel like we aren't enough, and that there should always be more. Yes, you could pull out a gratitude journal and write about some things that you're grateful for. That's probably not a bad idea as a starting point. But on a very much bigger level, if we are doing something meaningful and purposeful between the hours of 9 to 5, and yes, that's arbitrary work hours, but let's just call it that for now. If we're doing something meaningful between the hours of 9 to 5, then we're more likely to come home to the people that actually we love and actually matter to us as better people, showing up more positively, having a more positive influence on the next generation that we might be parenting, or having a more positive and profound impact on the world in general. We think that what we do doesn't matter, but nothing could be further than the truth. You will have seen the movie Avatar, or had those spiritual moments where you feel like everything is connected. Now, whether you do or you do not believe that to be true, because there may or may not be scientific evidence to prove that, I think we can all agree that there's something going on. The moon, impacts the tides. The tides impact how we might feel. We're made up of 90% water, whatever. There is all of those reasons to believe that there's something greater holding us together in humanity, and also to the world around us. So we have a choice on how we show up. We have a choice whether we show up in sort of joy and love and generosity. And we can imagine the ripple effects that might have around us, or we can choose to show up in our negative ego, in judgment and blame and victim and excuses, and that will have an impact around us. There's enough evidence to suggest that our outer world is created by our inner world. But that doesn't just mean in relation to you. It actually means in relation to everybody around you. There's enough books written out there and enough evidence to suggest that what you put out in the world is what you get back as your personal experience. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about how we actually change the trajectory that the world is headed on, that humanity is headed on, and how humanity impacts every living creature out there, and this beautiful planet of ours. So it all matters. Every time you wake up cranky, bitchy, less than what you could be and how you could be showing up for people, you are impacting directly your experience of life, other people's experience of life, and humanity's experience in general. So one person lighting up can ripple positive change across the world. Absolutely, they can. You just think in any given day how many people are in interaction with you and how you left them feeling. And if you left them feeling good, what they might go on to do. And if they left somebody good, feeling good, what they might go on to do. And you do that enough times, and that reverberation keeps going, and everyone's reverberations start to lift and meet, and the frequency changes. The frequency of our existence changes. So you know that you're here to make an impact, otherwise you wouldn't be here right now listening to this. But the problem is, all your life, since that beautiful moment that you were born, life started shaping you. And because we humans love to understand things and have cause and effect, then we tried to break things down into their component parts so we could study them like science. There's reasons that we've got vaccines and great drugs that give us longevity is because we broke down into component parts, symptoms, and effects on our body and mind when we take certain drugs, and we could understand them. We broke them down into pieces so that we can understand each individual piece and test it out. But as humans, we've forgotten to look at the bigger picture. Not everything is about a component. I was listening to Ian McGilchrist's interview when he was talking about one of the books that he wrote, and he said, imagine that you're in an airplane and you've got in front of you, you're flying it, you're the pilot, and in front of you, you've got the instruments, and then look up and look out the window, you've got the view. He said, what humans have done is that we've been too busy breaking things down into their component parts, and now we're stuck looking at the instruments, but we've forgotten to look out the window and notice the view. And right in front of us, we're flying into a huge thunderstorm, a deadly thunderstorm. If I had to choose whether I had the instruments or the view out the window, I'd choose the view out the window every day to guide me towards how to approach things, how to react, what to do, awareness. Whilst you were being told as a kid to stop being so creative, so chatty, so loud, so talkative, too many questions, or you're too introverted, you're too quiet, be realistic, keep your dreams in check. All of those things have been placed upon us to keep us in a box so that things make sense. But they only make sense so far when you forget that you're connected to everything. So I call bullshit. The time is ripe right now because as humanity, we've had a moment where we threw collectively our playing cards in the air simultaneously. It's very unusual. I mean, yes, we've lived through wars, but not all of the countries were affected. I wonder if this is the first time in history that every single being on the planet was affected by the same thing at the same time and knew about it because of social media, because of the mainstream media, and the narrative that was created, right or wrong. We were all part of something together collectively, which meant that the frequency of the planet shifted. Our mental health shifted simultaneously, and you could feel it. If you were a light worker, you could feel it. You dropped with everybody, or you lifted when we came out of lockdown. I could feel it. In Melbourne, one of the most locked down cities in the whole world, I could feel it. It was like I could feel everybody's emotions. But the joy when we came out was incredible. But what this has done is given us time to navel gaze. Not even navel gaze, mate, that's probably too presumptuous. Some people were in absolute crisis at the time and will still be dealing with PTSD as a result of what they've been through. One way or the other, there was a reassessment, and there was this very ripe, energetic time across the world where we were allowed to reassess. We were allowed to slow down for a minute to reassess. At least the expectations on us shifted. And now, more than ever, at this kind of base camp, we are okay to have new ideas. We are okay to do things differently, because I truly believe that the only way that we will come out of this as humanity, instead of reaching our existential crisis, is to co-create. There are no gurus. No one knows more than you do if you're aware. If you're looking out the window, there's plenty of people that might have read more books or studied more degrees, but we all have access to the same intuition, to the same guidance from the universe that allows us to create a positive ripple across the world. Love him or hate him, Steve Jobs said that when you realize that the world was created by people no smarter than you are, that's when you can poke a hole in your reality and choose something different. And right now, the energy of the universe is allowing you to choose something different and help us create our way out. Because people have had enough of the systems and structures that kept you in the box, kept you small, kept you a cog in the wheel, and made you afraid to shine in your full brightness. And so here we are. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you. So forget fitting in. It's time to stand out. While everyone else is zigging, it's time to zag. The world might not have been ready for you before now, but the energy has shifted and you can feel it. It's ready to go. It's time to create that impact and that ripple of change across the world. So how do we do it? So it all starts with joining Impact Nation. Impact Nation is a group of people, and I say women mostly because they are in touch with their feminine energy. If you associate or identify with being in touch with feminine energy and what it takes to look out the window rather than at the detail of the instruments, then that's the type of leadership we're looking for. So this is a bold, quiet nation. These are the people who are making change behind the scenes, and they don't need to yell about it. They're not a guru. They're just there doing it every day, and not just for their own fulfillment and meaning and purpose, but for humanity's, because they're actually interested in moving the needle, changing the direction and the path and the usual way of doing things for the better. Now, being that influential doesn't just happen. And when I say influence and the type of leadership I'm talking about here, I liken it to an undercurrent. We're not waves crashing down, brute force, making people change their minds or views. This is a gentle undercurrent that brings people on the journey with you through choice, without judgment, and through complete self-awareness of your own influence and your own state of being. And you don't get to be influential unless you start with yourself on the inside. It's all about getting out of your head and into your heart and remembering why, where, how, and then who. So often when we create an impact, we're immediately taught to think about who will I make an impact on? And there's all sorts of different people you can make an impact on. But what if you could make an impact that was aligned with your unique contribution, with your whole and authentic self, that innate set of characteristics packaged up, and that you birthed your contribution and your impact from that place? And then when you know that about yourself and you get to express that fully every day, imagine how it would feel to put that in the right context where it was actually appreciated by the right people, and their appreciation kept it alive in you and alight in you and fed your confidence over and over, which meant you shone brighter and brighter and had more and more impact and sent more and more ripples out into the world of positive energy and high frequency. And then what if you had a belief system that supported it, that helped you stay confident in your uniqueness and had some tools to keep you there, to reframe experiences from that just happened to me to, oh, how did that happen for me? And then what if you had the words to articulate that to other people in a way that it so resonated with them that they're in, no matter what you're selling? Now, selling, don't get triggered about that word. We're all selling something. We're selling our opinion. We're selling our goods, our services, our career, our skills. We're selling ourselves to get a promotion. We're selling ourselves to get love. We're selling ourselves to be identified, seen, heard, understood. Imagine if you could explain yourself to the people that you love most or matter most or have the most influence on you in your life. So to unearth all of those answers and to get the why, where, how, and who, it's going to take a few state changes as we journey across Impact Nation. To begin with, it's a state of possibility. And then when you've journeyed there and felt into that for a while, it'll be the state of realization. And then the alchemical state until you finally reach that state of influence where you become the undercurrent. The state of possibility. This is all about identifying and owning your uniqueness. It's a journey to remove the masks and roles of your upbringing or the decisions that you made along the way. That job that you accepted that wasn't quite right, that partner that you dated who screwed with your self-confidence, that thing that your teacher said to you at school that you stopped yourself from being or doing as an adult because of that teacher. Getting rid of those, removing them. Now, you could go and do years and years of trauma counseling and psychotherapy and various other things, or you can just make a choice today to get to the bottom of what you were when you were born, to just tap back in to that expansive soul that was born onto this planet. And we all have the ability to tap into that immediately. And I must say, footnote here, I am not discrediting anyone who has been through trauma. That is not what this is about. There is a space to learn and to have experienced that, and there's a place for that. What I'm talking about now is making the choice of whether that trauma dictates the pathway of your life in a way where it makes you choose to be something other than your authentic self. It's about choosing what makes you feel whole and fulfilled and connected to universe, source, God, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call that, greater, that's where your unique contribution lies, is in that connection, that feeling you get when you pray, that feeling you get when you meditate, that deep knowingness of who you truly are before life screwed with you. And there's a power in that being seen and witnessed by somebody else who has the vision to see that, to put that into words for you so that you can redigest and understand the value of your uniqueness. So the first state is a state of possibility. When you are seen and your uniqueness is identified and valued by somebody other than you, they bear witness to what and who you are truly and deeply. You might have felt that falling in love with someone before, where you feel truly seen by them, maybe a soulmate. It's that feeling. But you can have that to yourself. You don't have to have created a romantic relationship with someone to have that. You can have that for yourself. You will need someone to find to be your reflection, and that is what I do. So feel free to look me up. But having someone with that gift is something special, and having someone with the gift that they can articulate it into something that you can use to talk about yourself, that's even cooler, because then you move into the state of realization. Imagine putting your unique contribution in the right context with the right culture of people who are calling for your contribution, where what used to be something of an Achilles heel or a problem for you often is now your hero move. It's what everyone loves about you. Just imagine it. As a kid, I used to get told that I was asked too many questions and I talked too much. But I asked too many questions because I was so curious on who people were and what drove them and what inspired them and what lit them up. And I got told I was asking too many questions. And then I got told by a teacher that I wasn't a good writer. And now here I am asking questions and writing up profiles for beautiful people like you. So sometimes the thing that's too much or too little is exactly where your contribution lies. And when you identify that and step into that, you know where to put it. And that's your hero context, empowering and liberating those lost parts of yourself and unearthing the right context for your gifts. And choose wisely who gets to be in that culture. And check your choices against your fulfillment principles, that compass that keeps you on the right path. If you don't know what your fulfillment principles are, then again, someone like me might be able to help you with that. And then we move across to the alchemical state. So wonderful. You know your unique contribution. You know you've sort of realized that you could put it in a different context and you would actually be a hero. But knowing it and realizing it isn't enough, right? You have to embody it. So now you need to find the right support community, the people that are going to see you as the possibility of your future, not as the damage of your past. You know, like when you go traveling by yourself and I remember this one time I did, and I went to Ireland and I decided I was going to become a seasoned Guinness drinker. And so I walked into this bar and I sat down at the bench at the bar, and some guy started talking to me and he thought that I was a Kiwi instead of an Australian. And I thought, oh, stuff it. No one knows me here. I'm just going to be a Kiwi for the night. And so I just played with it. I played with this identity, you know. You need someone like that, someone where you can shift and change and feel into embodying that alchemy, that contribution of yours, and practice activating your unique contribution energy every day and constantly reframe your experiences of how this is happening for me, not to me, and explore the opportunities that then come up as a result of being in your unique contribution and understanding your impact alchemy. And now you're giving yourself and others the confidence in your value as the true and authentic you, because you've embodied it. Your energy is telling the same story as the words that are coming out of your mouth. So this alchemical state is all about feeling and feeding the light. And so now here you are, you understand your contribution, you've put it in the right context, it's being felt and fed daily. Now you're in the state of influence. Now you're in the undercurrent, or you are the undercurrent. You've found the right words to articulate your impact. You've built a community of people to create your impact to. You can articulate and sell your vision for those people. And you can help others become their impact and create their ripples, which is ultimately going to generate your success and fulfillment. So the state of influence is all about articulating your influential ideas with a unique communication framework that represents your authentic and aligned personal brand. Now, a personal brand is simply a way to package up the whole and complete experience of you, those innate characteristics that I was talking about. It's a nebulous concept of a conscious curation of how you show up to people. Well, imagine if your personal brand was the state of influence from your unique contribution. Imagine presenting that from your embodied alchemy and how true every word that you speak would feel to the people around you. Imagine attracting aligned opportunities and clients, work opportunities or clients from that space, and how powerful the transformation would be for the people around you. Being in your state of influence is the most powerful and authentic communication of your personal brand, and that is what attracts aligned opportunities and aligned people and your aligned experience of life. So where do you want to make your ripples of impact? If you're a coach, you might want to align your coaching by demonstrating your own aligned thought leadership, designing your customer experience from this place, making a process of your genius to share with others, creating aligned coaching frameworks, getting aligned collaboration opportunities, serving your highest impact niche for the highest, satisfaction to yourself and them, hiring the right people that complement your unique contribution, or selling yourself more effectively. So in the Impact Generator, this is the roadmap that we are following, the Impact Nation roadmap, as we journey across the state of possibility, the state of realization, the alchemical state to bring you to the state of influence. I hope you enjoy your journey with me. I can't wait to see you on a call sometime soon.